Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namachintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namino Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nigamakalpatarorgalitam Phalam Chukamapadaamrita Samyutam Vivata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishto Athasmृतज्ञानमापोहनं च Vedescha Sarve Rahameva Vidyo Vedanta Videva Chaham Sarvashastrabhipiyusha Sarvavedaikasatphala Sarvasiddhantaratnadya Sarvalokaikadikprada Sarvabhagavata Prana Shrimad Bhagavata Prabho Kali Dvando Dittaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshi Aksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishna Namastu me Madeka Bandhu Matsangin Madguru Manmahadana Mannishtaraka Madbhagya Madananda Namostute Asadu Sadhu Sadainnati Asadu Sadhu Sadainnati Nicho Chatakara Anamuncha Kadachinmam Premna Ritkantayosvara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Samkaroti Vachalam Kangam Langai Tekiri.
Hare Krishna. Mataji has left. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji. Just got disconnected. Yeah. Sorry.
No problem.
Very good. So, I share the screen. We are in the 20th chapter of the third canto. Yeah, the status quo, 20th chapter, conversation between Vidura and Vidura. So just to recap, so that we come into the flow of the chapters, we know that in the earlier chapters, we saw how Hiranyaksha was killed by Varadev. And the Falashruti of that was, it was said that one who hears and chants and takes pleasure in this narration will be relieved from all the sinful results, even the sin of killing a Brahmana. So that powerful it is hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So it says that it confers, hearing the pastimes of Varahadev, it confers upon us extraordinary merit, Mahapunyam. It confers upon us wealth, Dhanyam, position, Padam, fame, Yasyasya, long life, Ayut, prowess, the sense and the life air during the battle. So one who listens to it at the last moment of the life is transferred to the abode of the Lord. So we see that how auspicious it is to hear Krishna Katha, and how auspicious it is, the fellowship of hearing the Varahade's pastime. So here in this chapter, we see that
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry to disturb you. Your video is off, I think. Yeah,
okay,
fine, Mataji.
yeah. Hare Krishna. So we see that the Varahadev pastime is over. Now again, it is taking back to the Naimisharanya, where Shonaka Rishi, they are listening to Sutadev Goswami, right? And then Sutadev Goswami, Shonaka Rishi, they are asking Sutadev Goswami that, yeah, it was like, they said that we read that Swayambhuva Manu was told, he was created by Lord Brahma and he was told to procreate, right? Then he said, where is the earth, the planet where I have to do my activities? So then it was found out that Mother Earth was not there. And then Varahadev came, protected, lifted the earth, planet, and kept it in its orbit. So then the rishis, now they wanted to know more. So they asked Sutta Goswami, then what happened? What did Swayambhuva Manu do? What were his activities? Then they were, and they also know that answering their questions, Sutadev was actually telling about the conversation that was taking place within Vidura, right? So he was telling that Vidura, such a great devotee he is. He's a great friend of Lord Krishna, son of Vyasadev. So, and he was going to various places of pilgrimage, hearing from various rishis. So, of course, his conversation will be all about Krishna Katha. So, please tell us what were the further inquiries that was made by Vidura. They wanted to know about it because they know that it would be only about Krishna Katha because he's such a great devotee of the Lord. And we also understood that hearing Krishna Katha is the only way where we can overcome all our miseries. So, he wanted to hear about that. And then Vidura asked about the creations, right? So then we heard that how Maitreya Muni tells us about Pradhana, which is nothing but the unmanifested and undifferentiated form. Then we talked about Mahatattva, which is again, it is manifested, but it is not differentiated. Then the Prakriti, which is manifested and it is differentiated into all the elements. Then how from the pores, right, of the Lord Mahavishnu comes out the universe, and where all these material elements which are found through the cohesive energy of the Lord, they amalgamate, and thus they form that shining golden universe that is floating in the Karna ocean. And how the Lord further expands into Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and he takes few parts, elements and the jivas from the Mahatattva, and he enters into each universe. Right. After describing about the Sarga, it comes to the Visarga. That is the creation of Lord Brahma. Then it says that how Lord Brahma was created from the lotus sprouted from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and then Lord Brahma was born or appeared, right? And then from Brahma, what did he first create? He created from a shadow the five forms of ignorance: Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha, Mahamoha, right? And then when he got frustrated with that form, that the ignorance, he gave up that mentality. It is said that he gave up that body. So here we understand that giving up that body, which means our body is made up of gross and subtle, right? The gross is the earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then the subtle is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So giving up that mentality, giving up that for subtle for that is why it is said he gave up that body. So he gave up that mentality. And from that mentality which he gave up, what did it give rise to? What was created? the yakshas, yeah? The yakshas and the rakshasas were created. Who were the yakshas? The yakshas were the ones who said, kill him. And the rakshasas were there, don't give any protection, right? So the yakshas, and these yakshas, and they were created by Lord Brahma, yet overpowered by the passion. They wanted to devour, they wanted to eat him. So Lord Brahma tells him that you are my sons, I have created you all, right? So that is what he says. And then we understood like how the devas were created, the demigods, right? It is from the effulgence, like Brahma, the representative of the Lord. Have the similar features of the Lord. So from the effulgence of the Lord was created the day and the demigods. Then later on, from the verse 23rd onwards, right, we will understand the so here we understood the creation of the Devtas. Then we understand the creation of these demons. So how these demons were created? They were created from the buttock of Lord Brahma, right? After they were created, and then what is it is said that they also wanted to enjoy. They wanted to with Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma was also confused, right? He has created them, and now they want. First, he just ignored, but then he saw that these demons were really serious, and they wanted to enjoy with Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, what does he do? He takes the shelter of Lord, the Supreme Lord. He goes to the Lord and he tells the Lord that I created these demons as per your instructions, but now they want to enjoy me. So please protect me because I know that you are the only one who can save us. So we understand from these verses that Lord Brahma himself is made up of, he is the knowledge and the mind. His body is not like us. He is made up of knowledge. Even Lord Brahma, when the distress comes, he approached the Supreme Lord. So this is an understanding which we should have that there is nothing that can relieve us from this distress of this material world. It is only the Supreme Lord. It is said that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Nam Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. It is only these that is recommended for this age of Kali, chanting the holy names, taking the shelter of the holy names, which can relieve us from this distress of this material world. So now in this we will cover 5 verses, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 6 verses, which is nothing but these demons which came out, right? They want to enjoy, and the Lord Brahma is approaching Lord, and how Lord understands that what is the distress that is in that Lord Brahma is undergoing. So here in the verses we will understand that how the Paramatma who is there in each and every one who understands our distress and help us to overcome. So with that note, we go on to the 28th verse. So is it okay? This recap have come to whatever stage we are so far, and then further we will go where the verse is that so avadharyasya karpanyam diriktadatmadarshanaha vimunchatmatanum goram iti yukto vimumochaha. Shobha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So avadharyasya karpanyam vividhakyayatma darshana vimuchatma tanum groram it ukto vimokchaha. Hare Krishna, I did lot of mistakes. Sorry, Mataji. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord who can distinctly see the minds of others perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, cast off this impure body of yours, thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. So to read the
Correct.
purport, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Hari
Thank you,
Bol,
Mataji.
thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Yeah. So we understood that Brahma went. So when Brahma went to Lord Brahma went to the Supreme Lord, the Lord understood his distress, and Lord gives him the remedy also. He says that you cast off. That means you give up that mentality, because to create something you have to come into utarna hai us mood mein, right? You have to come into that mentality to create the demon. So Lord said that you cast off that mentality. You can't. So that is it. You cast off that impure body of yours. So we will understand through the purport of Srila Prabhupada what is the lesson that we have to take from this verse. Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
The
Krishna.
Lord is described here by the word Vivikta Dhyatma Darshanaha. If anyone can completely perceive another's distress without doubt, it is the Lord himself. If someone is in distress and wants to get relief from his friend, sometimes it so happens that his friend does not appreciate the volume of distress he is suffering. But for the Supreme Lord, it is not difficult. The Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is sitting within the heart of every living entity, and he directly perceives the exact causes of distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. I am sitting in everyone's heart, and because of me, one's remembrance and forgetfulness occur. Thus, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, one finds that he is sitting within one's heart. He can give us direction how to get out of dangers or how to approach him in devotional service. The Lord, however, asked Brahma to give up his present body because it had created the demonic principle. Hare Krishna.
Further is there.
Hare Krishna. According to Sridhara Swami, Brahma's constant dropping of his body does not refer to his actually giving up his body. Rather, he suggests that Brahma gave up a particular mentality. Mind is a subtle body of the living entity. We may sometimes be absorbed in some thought which is sinful, but if we give up the sinful thought, it may be said that we give up the body. Brahma's mind was not in correct order when he created the demons. It must have been full of passion because the entire creation was passionate. Therefore, such passionate sons were born. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful while begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. According to the Vedic system, therefore, the Garbhadhana Sanskara, or the ceremony for giving birth to a child, is observed. Before begetting a child, one has to sanctify his perplexed mind. When the parents engage their minds in the lotus feet of the Lord, and in such a state the child is born, naturally good devotee children come. When the society is full of such population, there is no trouble from the demonic mentalities. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
So
Mataji.
we see that in this verse, it talks about Paramatma, right? Then it talks about the giving up the mind. And then it talks about purificatory processes. These are the four things that has been mentioned. So here we see that how Lord Brahma, when he approached the Supreme Lord understood his distress. That this is thus giving us the knowledge that, that there is a Paramatma who is there in our heart, who identifies what is the distress that is going within us. So we also understand that there are two Purushas, isn't it? So who are those two Purushas? There are two Purushas.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Our mini Purusha V and Krishna Param Purusha.
Jivatma, Paramatma. Yeah.
Very good. So there are these two Purushas. So it is said that Purusha Prakriti Stohi Bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan. So who is this Purusha?
Us.
Yes. So we are the Jiva. Purusha Prakriti Stohi. We are in this material world. And what we are doing? Bhungte Prakriti Jan Gunan. We are entangled. We are enjoying this material nature. within the within these three modes, right? That is our position. But there is another Purusha which says that Upadrishtanu Mantacha Bharata Bhokta Maheshwaram Paramatmeti Chapyukto Dehim Asmin Purusha Param. So there is a Param Purusha. And what is the duty of this Param Purusha? He is Upadrishtanu Mantacha. He is witness. He is a overseer. Bharata Bhokta Maheshwaram. He is the supreme enjoyer. And then Paramatmeti. Who is he? He is the super soul. Correct? So we have this soul and the super soul. So what is the soul doing? The soul has identified himself with the body, and he is in this three modes of nature, and his activities are being controlled by these three modes of nature. So whatever this soul is experiencing or he is enjoying, this is as per his desire, which is understood by the Paramatma, right? And this Paramatma fulfill it. It is said that there are two ways how the Lord fulfills the desire. If you are a devotee, the Lord will fulfill the desire in such a way he approaches the Lord. And the other way, the Lord will fulfill the desire according to the desire and how much he deserves. To that extent, it will be fulfilled. So that is why it is said that Arjuna also says, right? Krishna says to Arjuna that Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshi Arjuna Tishtati. That means the Lord is there in everyone, a heart as the Paramatma, and he is identifying. He is a witness to whatever activities we are doing. But in this material world, what do we see? That we are subjected to the influence of mind and senses, isn't it? Whatever our mind tells, the senses do it, right? We are attracted towards. So this mind has to be controlled. It is said, right? If you do not control the mind, it is said that upadrita, udharet atmanatmanam, right? Udharet means we, the living entity, we should elevate ourselves from the mind, right? We should go above it. But if we do not go above it, what will happen? Natmanam avasa det. We will degrade, right? So why it is said that we have to control the mind is, how do we control the mind is, we have to train the mind. We have to train the mind in a yoga, in devotional service. Then our mind is said to be our friend, right? Because we as a conditioned soul, right? We are the soul, and our constitutional position is to serve. We have to serve someone. We are the servant. We have to serve someone. So serving someone means, a servant means we have to obey the order of someone, right? So there is somebody who is dictating us, and as per that dictation, we do our activities. So this dictation should not be the mind who is not trained. If a mind is trained, then the mind is said to be our friend. Bandhur atmatmana tasya yenatmaiva atmana jitaha. Right? If you have trained the mind is our friend because it will direct us towards the Lord. But if the mind is not trained and if we work under the dictation of that mind, then that mind is our enemy. Anatmanas tu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. So it is said that whatever activity we do, right, we have to do under a dictation. We either a dictation of a trained mind, right? A trained mind is a mind who has been trained in Krishna consciousness. So how do we understand? That means we are trained mind means we can say that we are following the right path as it is said in the Shastra. Or we can say that in the other words, we can say that we are following the dictation of the Paramatma, right? So when the mind is not trained and we follow the mind, then it will result in our degradation. That is, na atmanam avasadayet, right? And so now how do we identify, right? How do we come to know that whether we are following the dictation of the mind or we are following the dictation of the Paramatma? How do we know that whatever we are doing, are we doing it Are we doing it as per the instructions given by the Paramatma or an untrained mind? How do we know? How do we understand that?
Anything
Mataji,
in Krishna consciousness or Krishna being the center, we can consider that action as a dictation of Paramatma, I think, Mataji.
if we go
Then
according to the scriptures, scriptural injunctions and act according to it, then it is fine, Mataji.
Ah, you nailed it, Mataji. Correct. Yes, Archana Mataji has said Guru. So one person said Guru, one person said Shastra. Anybody else?
That's all, Mataji. Both, except our mind is always our enemy. Hare Krishna.
So it is Guru, Sadhu, Shastra,
Right,
and
Yes, Mataji.
Guru.
Sadhu.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So this is, we have to follow the Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. Guru. Because Guru is a representative of the Supreme Lord. And Guru follows the Sadhu, the previous Acharya. And the previous Acharya follows the Guru, his Acharyas. And all has come down in a disciplic succession. And Lord has given this knowledge to Lord Brahma. Tene Brahma Adi Kavaye. Isn't it? So the Lord has given this knowledge to Brahma, and from Lord Brahma it is coming down to our Guru. There is Lord within our heart. When we read the scriptures, it says that Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Mata Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. It is the Lord who gives us the intelligence, the remembrance. So when we do devotional service, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, right? Tesham Satatam Yuktanam. Bhajata Priti Purvakam. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenama. Okay. So when we follow, when we do the devotional service, Lord directs us. He will give us the intelligence. He will give us the understanding by which we can go towards Him. So this, in this, just to understand, Romapada Swami in his lecture, he told about a story, right, about a devotee. This devotee, he was a young guy, a good devotee following all the sadhana, but he was too much into Facebook. So, so as he was doing all this activity in the Facebook, he came across this girl, and they would regularly chat on Facebook. Okay, and then in the course of chatting, he got attached to her, and then this girl with whom he was chatting was actually an underage girl. So as days passed by, the chatting became more intense, and then this girl invited him to her house, and he agreed to it. And then she shared the location, and he set out to meet her. So from the location, it was found that it was a very long journey. So as he was following it, he missed the direction 2-3 times, and then as he was going, he was wondering, should I go? Is it right for me? Because I have taken up the devotional service, and then now I'm going. Should I go? Then his said, no problem. Let me at least go and meet her. And thus he goes to meet her. He knocks the door. He is asked to come inside, and there he finds that it was the police who was waiting for him, and he was arrested on the charge of underage sex, trying to allure the child who was underage. On that, he was arrested. And then when he was in the jail, he was remembering that the Lord, so many times he was trying to give me, he was trying to correct me. He was giving me so many symptoms, right? I was missing the direction, and then, but I did not pay any heed to it, and I fell in for it, right? So this is how it is. The Lord, the Paramatma, it is just like the hidden camera. In various security cameras we see, right? In banks and places like that, where they are just like the security cameras who are clicking our activities, whatever we are doing. And then just like the plasma security alarm, is there. Similarly, he gives us alarm. There are various signs and symptoms, the conscious, which tells us, right, don't do this, this is wrong, this is not correct. So we have to identify that. That are the dictations. So when we follow the instructions of the Guru, when we follow, we get that proper knowledge, and that are the alarms which will guide us from getting into sense gratification. So this is how, that is how it is. Then Maharaj was saying that this devotee later he understood that, how he was overcome by the lust, and he fell in for it. So we have to, and he did not pay any heed to the instruction of the Paramatma, who was, guiding him, who was telling him to not go. He was giving him a few signs, but he did not understand. So this is how we should understand has been given by the Lord. The Lord is always there to guide us and protect us. It is only saying that He is the supreme teacher, and we have to, like, just like two birds, it is said, right? The Atma and the Paramatma are like two birds sitting on a tree, but one is just doing the activity and the other one is witnessing it. So our activities, it should be such that we should understand the dictation of the Paramatma. That comes through Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. This is the understanding that how Paramatma in the heart of Brahma understood that the distress he is, and he gave him the solution also. And then the other things which is mentioned in this verse purport is about the purificatory process, which we know that how important it is, various rituals, various purificatory process which is mentioned for us in the Shastras. It is only for our sanctification, and we should not consider it to be low. As we see that when a child is born, there are various, the Namkaran, the Mundan, hair Mundan, then as a child first takes the food, Annaprash, right? Then the writing, Vidya Arambam. So these are similarly, even before the conception also, the Garbhadana Samskara. Why it is all this? To sanctify us, because how we think, how our mind is absorbed, based on that will be the conception. So this is given the importance of various purificatory processes which are there, which is only for our sanctification. That is what. So this is the understanding from this verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
A small disturbance, sorry. Though the directions will come from the Supreme Lord only within ourselves, is it not, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. That is through the Guru. Now we are so much overcome by sinful reactions, right? So it is through the Guru. The Lord sends the Guru to us, and it is through following them. So we have to follow the instructions of the Guru, the Shastras, and the instructions given by the previous Acharya.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So we go on to the next verse. Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Tam Kvanaccharanam Bhojam Madhipallalocanam Kanchi Kalapa Vilasabhukula Channa Rodasam. Translation by Divine Grace Prabhupada.
Mataji, there are many, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna Mataji, there are many hands raised here.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
For Sudha Mataji, the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Translation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The body given up by Brahma took the form of the evening twilight, when the day and night meet, a time which kindles passion. The asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of rajas, took it for a damsel, whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth over which shone a girdle. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So we understand here that Brahma gave up that mentality, and that mentality took the form of Sandhya, right? Evening, right? And this, because of their demonic nature, overcome by passion, they considered that to be a woman, a damsel, right? Who were having anklets, tinkling anklets, eyes wide with intoxication. The hips were covered with fine cloth, and over which shone a girdle. The ornaments for the hips. So this is how the demons, they took it, their speculation. So we will understand from the purport. Anusya Mataji, the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As early morning is the period for spiritual cultivation, the beginning of evening is the period for passion. Demonic men are generally very fond of sex enjoyment. Therefore, they very much appreciate the approach of evening. The demons took the approach of the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, and they began to adore her in various ways. They imagined the twilight to be a very beautiful woman with tinkling bangles on her feet, within on her hips, and beautiful breasts. And for their sexual satisfaction, they imagined the appearance of this beautiful girl before them. Correct.
So see the demonic mentality, right? That when he gave up that mentality, it took the form. That was the evening, right? And they considered this to be a woman, damsel, right? So here Prabhupada says that how early morning is the period for spiritual cultivation. Prabhupada, in many lectures, we can see that Prabhupada has given importance to rising early in the morning, right? Prabhupada says that rising early up in the morning, right, taking bath, then opening our temple, attending Mangala Arati. Prabhupada says that it is it is a devotional service. That is there are 9 stages of devotional, 9 ways of devotional services, right? In Shravanam, Kirtanam, then Shravanam, Smaranam, Shravanam, Kirtanam. 4th is Padasevanam, right? So that Padasevanam aspect is that's what we have to do. Early, rising up early in the morning, taking bath, opening the temple, cleaning the temple, attending Mangalarti, cleaning the temple. That is the process. That is what it is, Padasevanam, that is recommended for us, that 9 process of devotional service. He says that that is what it is said, that as early morning is the period for spiritual cultivation, and beginning of the evening is the period for passion, right? Evening is the period, the Sandhya, where the day merges into night. That part is called the Sandhya. That is the time that is full of passion. And we understand that during that time is where various activities, demoniac activities take place, isn't it? People are involved in that, and for us devotees, how it is when the evening comes, we have the Sandhyarti, right? That is how we try to overcome that effect. We engage ourselves in Sandhyarti, Tulsiarti, Sandhyarti, followed by Shrimad Bhagavatam lectures, attending the lectures of Shrimad Bhagavatam, and we end our day by we sleep early and then we wake up early. That is how we have been trained to overcome the effects of Sandhya. But we understand that the demons who do not have this knowledge, Prabhupada says that there are 2 types of intelligent men. One intelligent is in the material activities. He takes the opportunity of this Sandhya. He takes the opportunity of this, and for what? For sense gratification. Whereas we who are self-realized, they take the opportunity, do their sadhana to overcome the evil effects. So Prabhupada says in various lecture, he says that this rising up early in the morning, it is said that achara, right? You know, wherein you are training yourself to develop that spiritual activities, or you can say that cultivating spiritualism, to cultivate within you, so that you do not get diverted from that path. Whereas the demonic people, even in Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which says that Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Satyam Jagrati Samyami, right? when it is time for to sleep, right? That is the time for these demoniac people. Their activity starts then. And when it is time for us to wake up, that is the time when they would go to sleep. Right? Nowadays, we see so many children are like that. They sit late night, and early in the morning, when we wake up, it is the time for them to sleep. And throughout the day, they would be sleeping, and they will wake up by afternoon, and that is the time their day starts. Many times we see this. So that is the demoniac. So for us, if we have to advance spiritually, the various qualities that is seen in what do you call, a person who follows it is shaucham, right? These are the few qualities which Prabhupada says that out of that shaucham, that is cleanliness, by waking up early in the morning and taking baths. Here it tells that how these demoniac people, they were so much fond. They took the opportunity that Sandhya, they considered that to be a woman, and they were getting to see the mentality, the demoniac mentality. So this we can, this is actually telling us how much we can relate it to the present world, isn't it? That how evening falls, how those who are engaged in the sense gratification, how they start their day. So how apt it is. It is so wonderful that these verses tells us that that how wrong it is to do things. And that is why even earlier day, if you remember, in our our grandparents, parents all tells us, Sandhya has, even it is evening, there is the effect of these evils. So don't do this activity. Don't take bath at night. Don't leave your hair. That time we would all see this modern people. They say how conservative people are, right? That is in the old earlier days. People would wake up early morning, taking bath early morning. So Prabhupada in one of the lectures he says this is not anything conservativeness. If early morning, if the sun does not rise, what would be our condition, right? So that way it is a sadhana. It is prescribed. It is a Vedic system that we have to follow. That waking up early in the morning and taking bath, which is very essential, rather than sleeping throughout the day and waking up late afternoon. So with that, even one more thing, in one of the lectures, Prabhupada says that waking up early in the morning is really very difficult initially when we take up Krishna consciousness, right? We with great difficulty we do it. So Prabhupada says that take it like a green mango, right? Green mango is very sour initially. So when we have green mango, we do not like it. But then when the mango matures, when it becomes ripe, it is so sweet, right? Similarly, we should put this practice. Though it is very difficult, waking up in the morning and doing the sadhana, trying to finish our chanting, but we have to do it. But by continuously practicing that, we develop that love for Krishna. And when we develop that love for Krishna, automatically waking up, all our activities come into line. There is no difficulty. Okay, so with that, we go on to the 30th verse. Saravanan Gandhi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Anyonya Adesha Yotunga Nirantara Payodaram Sunasam Shudvijam Snigdha Asa Leela Valokanam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Her breast projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So this is just a description with that twilight, which they considered it as a damsel. This is just a description of their speculation, how they identified her. 31. The hands raised. Navakishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Namaskar.
Kruhantim vriyaatmanam Nilalakavirodhinima Upalabhya Sura Dharma Sarve Sammumuha Striyama. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, the translation. Prabhuji, we cannot hear.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranams Mataji. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself as it were. Out of shyness, upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Divya Gopa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The difference between demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the mind of the demons, but she cannot attract the mind of the godly persons. A godly person is full of knowledge and a demonic person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly, a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sex. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breasts, high hips, beautiful nose, and fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised all persons not to be attracted by the interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty in spiritual life. The real beauty is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted by the false beauty of this material world. That is the difference between a demon and a godly person or devotee. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's a very nice purport, right? Which is giving a distinction between how the demons and the demigods, or the demons and the how it is the demons, they get attracted. So we should identify, we should realize that this body, it is just like a doll, you know, which is temporary. Anytime it will go, right? So don't spend time too much, or don't get attracted to these bodily features. Right? What we have to get attracted is the Madana Mohan, that is the Cupid, the Lord Krishna, that is the real attraction. Yamunacharya says that when he thinks about and when he hears the Krishna Katha, when he gets so much attracted towards the Lord that he gets newer and newer energy every day. That is the potency of hearing Krishna Katha. It brings about revolution in our life. So Yamunacharya says that I get newer and newer energy, and that energy helps me to advance more. And whenever I get the thought about the sex or any abominable thing, I spit over that thought, and thus he diverts. So that is how it should be. But the demons, because they are under that influence of Rajas, they first of all, here we see that how they consider that to be a damsel, and they're getting attracted. They're describing her features. So we should understand that in this, what we should get attracted is not this material beauty. Material beauty is short-lived. And when we are in Krishna consciousness, nothing can divert us. Whatever be the sense gratification around us, we will be self-controlled. That will help us to control. That's therefore we have to take the shelter of Krishna consciousness. The best example is that of Haridasa Thakur. How the envious people has sent the prostitute to allure him. But He made her a devotee. That is the power of the holy name. Prabhupada says that this temporary beauty, right, he calls this as a liquid beauty. We know that story where, this girl who was very beautiful, married, but there was this rich man who was attracted to her beauty and wanted to enjoy her. And she knew that if she opposes to him, he will try some other forceful means. So what did she say? Okay, I accept, right? Earlier she kept no, no, no. She kept telling him no, but then he insisted. So at last she said, okay, but give me 7 days time. And in these 7 days, what she does is she takes a lot of purgatives and emetics, and she starts vomiting and passing stool, and everything she throws into pot. And in a period of 7 days, she becomes very lean, skin and bone. And when again he comes there and he asks, where is that girl? She says, it is me. And that beauty which you were attracted to, that is there in this pot. So we can understand that it is nothing. This material beauty is just like a liquid beauty. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. We should be attracted to the love of the beauty of Lord, the Radha and Krishna. This is what it is said in this chapter, in this verse, and further 32. Anybody? Shobha Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Pranams Mataji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Aho Rupam, Aho Dairyam, Aho Asya Navam Paya Bhadye Kamaya Mananam Akhameva Visarpati. Translation A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty! What rare self-control! What a budding youth! In the midst of us all who are passionately longing for her, she is moving about like one absolute free from passion. Haribol, thank you, Mataji.
In that speculation, they are describing her beauty, right? So this is the effect of Rajas, the Sandhya. Further, Prashanti Mataji, the 33rd verse.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranam. Vitartayanto bahuda tam sandhyam pramadakritiim visambhavya vishrambha paryakruchan prumedhasaha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Suma Mataji, the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman, the wicked-minded asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows. Hare Krishna.
So now the further verses, we see that how this demon, they were attracted to her, they described her beauty, and now they are offering her respect, and they are going to. So that we see in the following verses. So this is all about the 5 verses where we see that how Lord Brahma, he created the demon from his buttocks, but these demons get attracted towards him, and then Lord Brahma goes to the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord tells him, you give up that bird, but that mentality. And from that mentality was the evening twilight. The Sandhya was formed, and then the demons, they considered that to be a dancer. They they describe her beauty, offering respect to her, and then further they are going to speak to her. So this is all about this verse, and the takeaway point, we should know that it is the Paramatma who is there in our heart, who is guiding us. We have to keep our mind controlled, and this is possible only through Krishna consciousness. So any yoga that directs us to Krishna consciousness is the best yoga. Else, it is just Shrama eva hi kevalam. It is just waste of time. With that note, I end this session. Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam.
Prashanti Mataji, do you have a question?
Mataji, I raised for reading, Mataji. I just
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, very good. Yeah. So, any questions, devotees?
Yeah.
Uma
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Anasuya Mataji. Sorry, first
Yeah.
you were raised.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, in the previous sloka, not today, sorry Mataji, previous lokas. So with the glance of Shambho, then we get the after like Mahavishnu, with the glance of Shiva and Parvati, we get the living entities like that. Yes, Mataji.
Not the glance of Shiva, the glance of Mahavishnu.
Yeah,
The glance
Mahavishnu.
of Shiva, the glance of Mahavishnu personified is Shambho, and that glance has living entities.
Yes, Mataji. So we know that from the eyebrows, like when Brahma got angry, the Rudra comes. So the Shambho and Rudra is different, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They are different, Mother.
They are different.
This Shambho is even before creation, and then later on, the Shambho as Shiva, they enter into the material world. Every expansion, there are expansions.
Yeah. So there is only one Shambho and other 11 Rudras, right, Mataji?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, the Lord Brahma's body is made up of only the three subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego.
No,
He is also a
yes.
Jivatma, like us. No,
He is
Mataji.
also a Jivatma, but it is the mode of goodness. In the creation, we had understood this. He is in the mode of goodness. And from that goodness, that consciousness is Lord Brahma. Actually, to say every living entity is born a Lord Brahma. But then, like even we can say that we are all those Brahmas who did not take up a devotional service and have fallen down. In which you have listened to that day Prabhuji's lecture, Gokul Chandra Prabhu. He was mentioning it. He was mentioning it, right, Mataji?
I'm not able to recollect it, Mataji.
Yes. So Lord Brahma is what you call. He says he is from the mode of goodness, and it is said that he is more of intelligent knowledge and mind.
So each time he's giving up the mentality, Mataji. The word
He
is
is giving
asking.
up that mind because to create, he has to come into that mode of creation, right? So, but Lord tells him that you give up that mentality of that demoniac,
Okay, just by that mentality, those rakshasas and so many, they are getting birth. So in that way, no, like
yes.
Just by me thinking in the mind. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, as an extension of this, then where does the Brahma Vimohan Leela fit in, Mataji? Like in that, Brahma wanted to test Krishna, isn't it, Mataji? So was that only for, giving us a lesson?
Yes, Mataji. I do not know that into depth, to be very frank.
Yes, Mataji.
Divya Mataji.
Mataji, thank you so much for a session, Mataji. It was very wonderful as usual. Mataji, my question here is, when Brahma had to create, what is the purpose of yakshas and rakshasas, Mataji? Is it that Lord wanted for some reason?
No, that is what every creation. You see, 84 lakh species. These are the reactions to our actions. So we had to be given. So based on everything is written down. Whatever activities we do. So it is as per the desire. They had to create so many species to give him that next life. So it is not that Brahma desired. It was the desire of the living entity, and as per that they were given one body.
Oh, okay. So yakshas and rakshasas are the mentality of the people. Is that so, Mataji? Can I consider like this?
It is the mentality of the people, and they were given that body. It says,
that body. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, got it, Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So there you see, there are 84 lakh species. So as per that, a body is given.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, so there is a difference between Shambhu and Rudra. So, and what about Shiva, Mataji? Shiva is different or Shiva is same as Shambhu?
It is expansion, no, Mataji. In the creation, we understood that for this material creation, the effulgence of Mahavishnu is Shambhu, right? And then he carries that living entity, and then there is a union between the shadow of Rama Devi is Maya, right? And with that union, they create, and then when he expands into Shiva, into the material world. Like how Mahavishnu, right? Mahavishnu then expands into Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. But Garbhodakshayi Vishnu takes a few living entities and a few things from the Mahatattva and he enters. Like that, everybody, that expansion, they enters into the material world. So that we can understand as Shiva. And then further, then there are 12 Rudras. So Shiva's chapter is little very complicated to understand. It is very confusing. So earlier there is one Shambhu, then there is the Shiva, then there is the Rudra.
Okay,
So that
Mataji.
way, yeah.
So Rudras are expansion of Lord Shiva, Mataji.
We can say, I'm not that sure about, but this I can very well say that yes, there is Shambhu, and then further in the material world expands and comes as Shiva. And then Rudras are actually the anger, right? During the creation, Lord Brahma, when he told the 4 Kumaras to create, they refused, right? So from that anger, the Rudras came up.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Is there any other question? Someone is saying something? Okay. Yeah. So Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. As usual, yes, as Divya Mataji said, wonderful class with a nice and very explanatory revision also, Mataji. So thank you so much. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Shilpa Mataji, do you want to say something?
No, Mataji. I was
Okay.
just wanting to thank Mataji for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Thank you,
As
Mataji.
always.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Mataji, just one short question, Mataji. If Rudra is anger, why do people wear Rudraksha? Maybe silly, maybe a very silly question. Just out of curiosity, Mataji.
No, Mataji, I really do not know this about Rudraksha.
When we went on Yatra at Varanasi, everybody was buying Rudraksha and wearing. They told me also to buy. They're forcing me. I bought it, but I didn't wear it. It's with me.
Maybe that is the quality of Rudraksha. I really do not know, Mataji. I do not know.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, in another class, one of the preachers said, na Mataji, that Rudra cannot be converted, means considered to be completely anger. Only that form of Rudra, who came from Brahma, was representing anger, whereas Rudraksha comes from it is said to be the tear of Shiva. So it is not maybe directly connected to Rudra because it is related to Shiva more than Rudra is what I feel, Mataji, as for what I heard. And Shiva is considered more of a Shanta Swarupa than anger, no, Mataji. So Rudraksha has its own properties, is what even I have heard, Mataji. But as you said, it's a very controversial topic.
Yeah, to understand Shiva's philosophy, we just consider him that he is the Adi, he is the Varishta Vaishnava, and we have to follow the way how he is engaged in the spiritual, always remembering the Lord.
Hare Krishna is Ashutosh.
Yes, Ashutosh. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhye visakhapatitanam pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Koti
Namo.
Vaishnavinki
Ananta
Jai.
Koti Vaishnavind ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Pranam.
Thank you so much.
And there is one announcement, Haribol. There is one announcement. Tomorrow there is a class on the topic calling the Lord with the heart. So one Brahmachari's Prabhu is going to come. So please join at 9:30. And also today, Meenakshi Mataji told me that her aunt passed away. She had a cancer. So we will chant 3 times for her. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Krishna
all
Mataji,
devotees,
we
Hare
will meet
Krishna.
again
Yeah.
today. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shall I end the session, Mataji?
Yes.